Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Autophagy begins when the body undergoes stress, such as fasting, calorie restriction, or starvation. This protective housekeeping mechanism helps slow down the aging process and has a positive impact on cell renewal. Intermittent fasting, adjusting eating time for better wellness. Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, 'cause we are to be true humans, not cannibals.
Halito Jim Achukma. This is how the earnest people of the Choctaw Nation say, "Hello, how are you?" in the Choctaw language. Joyous viewers, my name is Stephen. The peaceful people of the Choctaw Nation wish that you are further spiritually uplifted each day. Welcome to our show entitled Intermittent Fasting, Adjusting Eating Time for Better Wellness. Did you know that fasting is beneficial to health? The secret lies in the activation of autophagy. The 2016 Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded to a Japanese cell biologist, Professor Yoshinori Osumi, for his discoveries of mechanisms for autophagy. This term literally means self-eating in Greek and describes a fundamental process for degrading and recycling cellular components. Autophagy begins when the body undergoes stress such as fasting, calorie restriction, or starvation. This protective housekeeping mechanism helps slow down the aging process and has a positive impact on cell renewal. It can remove harmful and dysfunctional cells, recycle them into new components, and power cellular repairs. Emerging evidence points to the potential fasting has to offer in terms of protection from chronic diseases and promoting longevity. One of these worrisome chronic conditions is obesity. The prevalence of obesity has increased in recent decades and is even referred to as a global epidemic. In many nations, the rapid rise of the disease in the population, which includes children and adolescents, has caught the public's attention due to the implication of increased morbidity and mortality in young adulthood. Not just limited to young adults, obesity can affect all ages. A sedentary lifestyle and consumption of extra calories also increase the risk of other conditions, including heart disease, hypertension, and even cancer. Furthermore, obesity puts people at a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Normally, after one takes a meal, a rise in the blood sugar level will prompt the pancreas to release a hormone called insulin to transport glucose into cells to power cellular functions. However, if a person's blood sugar level is constantly high for an extended period of time, the pancreas has to work harder to release more insulin. This can consequently wear out the pancreas and lead to less production of insulin and cause cells' resistance to insulin. The condition of cells being unresponsive to insulin is known as insulin resistance, the hallmark of type 2 diabetes. The proper time to eat also deserves attention. Our body is active during the day and winds down at night to prepare for entering sleep. Eating at appropriate times to align with our internal circadian clock, such as avoiding eating before going to bed, is good for our health. For example, eating late is associated with greater postprandial or after-meal glucose and insulin exposure than eating early, leading to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Because type 2 diabetes is closely related to obesity, weight management becomes an important key to preventing diabetes. Intermittent fasting, as defined by Healthline.com, is an eating pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. It is gaining popularity for its health and fitness benefits and has been found to be useful to manage weight. In addition to weight management, there is scientific evidence that intermittent fasting has an anti-inflammatory effect that balances the free radical and antioxidant activity in the body. Intermittent fasting can potentially reduce inflammation and risk factors for cardiovascular disease, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. This practice can also positively influence our sleep. Research has shown that sleep quality can improve after a week of intermittent fasting. In a study, participants were less likely to wake up and spend more time in rapid eye movement or REM sleep, a stage of sleep responsible for emotional and mental processing. The reason behind this is that fasting can regulate the production of orexin A, a neurotransmitter related to alertness. People who fast have lower orexin A levels at night and higher levels in the daytime, so it brings alertness during the day and helps them have a more relaxing sleep. Intermittent fasting also leads to higher levels of human growth hormone, which facilitates fat burning as well as aids in rebuilding muscle and other bodily repairs. As a result, people who fast may feel more refreshed and restored when waking up in the morning.
He who despises the law that enjoins compassion, and praises the law that permits slaughter, and who feeds but a single unprincipled man, even if he be a king, will go to darkness and not to the gods. Sutra Kritanga Jainism.
We will pause a moment for an important message and then be right back to find out more about intermittent fasting. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Intermittent Fasting, adjusting eating time for better wellness on Supreme Master Television. Many diets focus on what we eat, but intermittent fasting focuses on when we eat. It is simply done by taking long breaks between meals, and you can adjust the length of the breaks per your needs. Though fasting may at first sound hard to achieve, we actually fast intermittently every day during our sleep. If such a fasting time is extended long enough, our body can have more time to rest and recover, thus positively influencing our health. There are several popular methods of intermittent fasting. One of them is called Eat, Stop, Eat, which involves a 24-hour fast once or twice a week. For example, if you finish your dinner at 6 p.m. and don't eat until the next day at 6 p.m., then you will have completed a 24-hour fast. Another method is called the 16-8 fast, which typically involves fasting for about 16 hours and limiting eating within a time frame of 8 hours. If you finish your dinner at 8 p.m. and don't eat until the next day at noon, then you will have fasted for 16 hours. Alternatively, another easy way is the 12-hour fast. Let's say you finish your dinner at 7 p.m. and do not eat until breakfast time at 7 a.m. the next day, then you will have fasted for 12 hours. What makes intermittent fasting widely accepted is its simplicity. No need for complicated calorie calculations. Just simply narrow the eating window. Studies show that more than 10 hours of fasting could be an ideal amount of time for the body to initiate a certain mechanism to promote wellness. One of the main reactions is the shift of energy sources. When glucose stores are exhausted from the last meal, our body begins to burn stored fat as fuel, which is called the metabolic switch. This is one of the reasons that many people practice intermittent fasting for weight management. During the process, the liver converts stored fat to ketone bodies, which offer a more efficient energy source than glucose. It's wonderful to know that simply narrowing the eating window has so many benefits. Are there any precautions to take? Yes, indeed. This eating pattern may not be appropriate for children, women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, or people with existing medical conditions such as anorexia or bulimia. Though intermittent fasting may benefit individuals who have type 2 diabetes, It may not be okay for those with type 1 diabetes. If you have a health condition, you should talk to your doctor before trying it out. During the fasting window, drinking water is preferable. Coffee and tea are also permitted, but one should stay away from adding sweeteners. A small portion of sugar can make the blood sugar level fluctuate and turn the fat-burning mode to carb-burning mode, thus making it less effective for those working on weight management. People following intermittent fasting should avoid undereating and choose nutrient-rich foods during the eating window. Healthy vegan food such as whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and plant-based protein helps make fasting easier. Always remember to restart eating slowly and avoid binging on foods during the eating period, as it will offset the health improvement outcomes. Dr. Sachin Panda of the Salk Institute for Biological Studies in the United States recommends breaking the fast in the morning a few hours after waking up. The reason is that the first 2 hours after awakening are when the amount of the hormone cortisol, which boosts glucose levels, falls, and the pancreas, which produces insulin, wakes up. It takes some time to adapt to a change in routine. If a fasting window of 16 hours seems hard, starting with 8 hours may be easier to begin with. Be kind to yourself and allow some flexibility to do what works for you. Digestion is an energy-consuming process. Intermittent fasting allows us to save more energy for something broader than just processing foods. The Greek philosopher Plato said, "I fast for greater physical and mental efficiency." In the holy month of Ramadan, Muslims fast from dawn to sunset and also focus on good thoughts and behavior. These wise words and rituals remind us of the greater meaning behind fasting, cutting down on food indulgences, taking back control of one's body, and reserving time for inward contemplation. We hope that today's show has inspired you and wish that you find vitality through simple ways of eating.
Go ahead, make war, so that blood will flow into your mouth, 'cause you are bloodthirsty.
Kind viewers, thank you for your company today on our program. Up next is Supreme Master Ching Hai's thoughts on the urgent situation in Ukraine, Part 3 of 8, on Between Master and Disciples, right after noteworthy news. May God's guidance bring you love and joy.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/HL.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/HL.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule e suprememastertv.com/HL.
Nossos programas oferecem vários idiomas. Acesse suprememastertv.com/schedule e suprememastertv.com/HL.